Hello and welcome. Now in this video, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue on our quiz app, okay? And in this video we are going to add the basic functionality for our application, okay? And what I mean by the basic functionality, I mean the structure, okay? So if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, from when I told you about the idea about our application, we are going to show a word here, okay? For example, Sunday. Now typically if we want to think about all the words, okay, we are going to show more than one word, right? Okay, for example 10 words or whatever, 20 or whatever number that you have. So we need to think about some way that we can store all these words, okay, in one place, okay? And the best solution for this is actually to create an array, okay, an array that will hold all these words, okay? So I'm gonna here on the top, outside of my own create, I'm gonna create a variable, okay, for our array, okay? For example, I'm gonna call it days, okay? And this variable should be equal to an array of, okay, we should see the array of, and here we are going to add all the words that we have. For example, I'm going to type Sunday, okay, and at the comma then type Monday between double quotation because we are working with the strings, okay? Sunday, Monday, of course we can use Tuesday, okay? I'm going to misspelling it, but there is no real matter. Tuesday, and we have the Thursday, okay, and we have the, for example, the Saturday. Oops, let me add between double quotation, we forgot it, okay? Sunday, my Saturday, okay, oops. Saturday, and the Friday. Now as you can see, guys, what I did is actually I misspelling everything because it's no real matter. You can add the correct spelling for all these words, okay? I do not care too much about the spelling right now because we do not focus on this, but you can go further with this. Now guys, let's start adding more functionality. Now what I did is actually creating an array, okay, of string, okay, that hold all the words, okay? And now what we do not want to show all these words inside this text view, okay? We want to show one word, okay? That's why what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a variable, okay? I'm gonna call it, for example, day, okay? Should be of type string, okay? Because all the words there are strings. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this day, okay, to access all these words, okay, any of them that I want. Now how we are gonna access them? Of course we are gonna access them randomly, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another variable, okay? I'm gonna call it for example random, and should be of type random, okay? Because this random will give us the ability to choose a random word from these and store it inside this day, okay? And now let's go ahead and start thinking. Everything is set up now. What we are going to do, we are going to create a function here on the bottom. I'm going to create a new function that will help us to mix the words, okay? Mix the letters, okay? So I'm going to create a function, okay? Let's call it, for example, mix letters, okay? And here we should give it we are gonna pass it a word, okay, should be of type string, okay? And this method should be returning string. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Now what I did, ladies and gentlemen, I creating a function, okay, name it mixed letters, name it and I give it word, okay? I pass it as word as a parameters of type string and should return something. Now why I did this? Now this function, okay, what's gonna do, once we call this function, it will asking us for something to pass, I mean the day, the day that we have here. If you remember, I said this day will hold one of these values inside of in our array. So what I'm gonna do, once I call this function, I will pass it this day that is storing one of these words, and it will mix the letters inside of it. Do you get the idea? Okay. Now what we are gonna do, of course, ignore the error that we are gonna show now. I'm gonna fix it in a second, but let's go ahead and mix everything. Now to mix this the letters, we are going to use certain functionality from the Android system, and I actually saw this function online, one of the tutorials online. Okay, so you can get it from the Stack Overflow or anything that this line that I'm going to code, but it's actually, I think about it and I said, why we do not just create an application about this. Okay, and let's start typing it. So I'm going to create a variable, name it words. Okay, and it's equal to arrays. Okay, dot as list, oops, dot as list. Let me check everything. Array is not array. Okay, as list. And here what we are gonna do, and we need to make it a string because everything we have a string. Okay, and for this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna split everything. Okay, so I'm gonna type for dot split, and here we need to add this double quotation and to regex. Okay, and here we are gonna drop last white. We have it right here, and inside of it what we are gonna do, we are gonna open everything right here. This should be a function. Okay, and inside this what we are gonna do, we are gonna type it dot is empty. I know guys, you may be confusing right now, but we are gonna explain everything in a second. Okay, dot, but let me type it first. Type of an array. Okay, and we should be in a great place now. As you can see, everything I think set up. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call the collection. Let me decrease this little bit to give us some space. Okay, I'm gonna type collection. We have the collection right here. Oops, not this collection, dude. We should see the collections dot shuffled, and this is the create function that Android system give us, will mix everything. Okay, mix the words that we have. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, last but not least, I'm gonna mix this using the for loop. Okay, for I in words. Okay, then the mix, we need to create a variable here for the, I'm gonna call it mix letters. Okay, it's equal to the empty first, and here we are gonna make it mixed, it's plus equal to I. Okay, and last but not least, we are gonna, outside of our loop, we are gonna return this mix. Now time for explain everything. Okay, mixed. Now guys, sorry for this, but let's start explain everything. Here we are creating a variable, name it words. Okay, and this whole line that you see right here, it's actually not about creating, for example, a quiz applications. Okay, this is not, there is no something that actually, for example, this certain functionality for a quiz applications. No, there is no real thing like this, but this is the idea of the developers. Okay, for example, if you wanna, what you can do if you wanna mix the letters. Okay, and what I did, we think about, for example, mix the letters for certain word and make a quiz application, and the whole stuff or the whole secret comes from this shuffled. Okay, this function. Okay, that will do everything for you. Okay, there is no actually, ladies and gentlemen, for example, there is no real necessary to understand everything right here, okay? Because this code, what I did is actually I copied from I think one of the websites online. I think it was Stack Overflow. I do not know. I do not really remember that. Okay, but I copied this, okay, code online, and it's give me the functionality to mix everything. Okay, so you can type it as it is, but our job here is to take this mix letter and do something with it. And for what we want to do, guys, we are going to create a private function, okay, and I'm going to call it, for example, play quiz, okay, and this should take nothing, and open this brackets, okay. So what we are going to do, if you remember the variable day, okay, here we have the variable day, we are going to use it right now, okay. So here we should type day, okay, but we do not want to get all this, as I said, all these values and store them inside days, but we are going to get a random key from them. So what we are going to do, we are going to create, first of all, create a random number between these, and we are going to get it to store it inside our day, okay. So what we have here inside our own create, I'm going to make the random, okay, it's equal the random class, okay, and everything should be done. Now going back to our play quiz function, okay, we have it right here. I'm gonna make the day, it's equal to the days array, but as I said, we do not want the whole array. We are gonna get a random one from it, a random index. So I'm gonna type random, okay, dot next int, and here what we want, we can do, we can give it a size, or how we can stop this array, how we can stop this random from, for example, between 0 and for example days dot size. That means the size of our array. So that will be a great option. Our application will never crash, okay, if you make it like this, because if you, for example, make it between the random, that means the next int, it will start from the 0 until this number that you give it right here. Of course you can, for example, 10, but how about if you are now this function will take a random number between the 0 and 10, okay, but if your application, for example, does not have 10 words, your application will be crashed. That's why I type days dot size. Now no matter what long or length of your array, it will be never crash, okay. Now what we are going to do, guys, here, if you remember, our everything is set up, everything we did, what we did, ladies and gentlemen, we have created a random number, okay, from this array, okay, and store it inside this variable called day. Now what we are going to do, we are going to assign this day on our text view word, okay, the question word. So I'm going to type question word dot text, okay, it's equal, we do not want the day itself, because if we assign the day itself, we are going to show the right answer, but we do not want it to show the right answer, we want to show the mixed, okay. So I'm going to type the mix function, call it right here, and pass it the day here, okay. So what it's going to do, it's going to take the day, okay, which is the right answer, for example Sunday, and it will put it inside this function and mix everything, and it will return for us a wrong word, okay, that will show it in our question text view, okay. So let's take a quick recap of what we have learned in this video. We are creating the array, okay, and store all the words, okay, inside of it. We actually created this variable called day because we do not want to show all the words in one time. We want just one of these, okay, and we want to take one randomly. That's why we have created a random number, okay. We have created it right here, and we have initialized it right here, and also we have used it right here, okay. We have created this function that you can get the code from any website, or you can for example type it like me, okay, and we have used it right here to mix everything. So hope you guys get the idea about what we did until now, okay. I think we are gonna stop right here because we do not want to make this video too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are gonna continue on in the next video.